Hello everybody, this is Wolfgang. It is Saturday afternoon here in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a nice day out, a little warm. I think it's like 85 today. Anyway, I do my videos without any editing. I just do them. So I'm always trying to come up with new ideas or a topic that I don't see shared on YouTube as far as prepping goes. By now, I think most people that are into the prepping have a pretty good idea that it's food, water, shelter, and a way to defend yourself. So through the week I was thinking what I was going to do my video on, because like I've said in the past, I do one video a week, and I usually do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. And actually today is August the 10th, 2019. So I did construction pretty much all my life. I was in the service. I was overseas, and the language barrier is going to be an issue, I think, with when shit hits the fan. Okay, if just here in the United States, and I'm going to go ahead and pick on California because I've been there. I lived there for 5 years, and it was a culture shock to me when I got to California just because of all the different nationalities. And I mean, my opinion, I think they ought to call California United Nations. I mean, there is literally every nationality that you can think of in California. So that's your language barrier right there for one. Now, when shit hits the fan, depending on where you live, and that might not even matter, because if it gets that bad, you're going to have people traveling, roaming around. And for people that have homesteads, I know you're going to have your place secure. But my question is, what do you do if a group of people, let's go with a number 5. 5 people show up and they don't speak your language, and obviously you don't speak theirs, and they're looking for either some water or some food, medical attention. How do you deal with that problem? Okay, when I was in construction, and I'm not picking on any race, but we had a lot of Mexican workers on our construction site. Now, I installed ductwork, sheet metal. Okay, so I would be in a room installing ductwork, and we would have Mexicans in there. They mostly hung drywall, or they were painters. But more than once I can count, I was in a room with 3 or 4 guys that spoke no English whatsoever. So I'm up on a ladder hanging ductwork. If I was to fall, hurt myself, how would I communicate to these guys? Or vice versa, if something was to happen to one of them. See where I'm going with this? The communication, where's that, I mean, you can point, facial expressions, but it can get difficult. So, I mean, I know a little bit of Spanish. I can say hi, goodbye. but like I said, just a little bit. So should maybe we practice up on certain languages? I know here in Cincinnati we have Mexicans, we have some people that are from India. There's actually a couple of people at my job that are from Nigeria. And there's, once again, your workplace. So what or how can we work with, when when it gets bad and you're either on the move or you're bugging in, and some people come across you and your group of people, and there's that language barrier. How would you deal with that? Would you just literally flat out say, hey, I don't know what you're saying, you got to go? Or would you try to communicate with them? Because it's frustrating when somebody is speaking a different language and you have no idea what they're trying to get through to you or talk to you. Like I said, I was over in Spain, and it wasn't too bad. There were a few guys that spoke the language, so when we would go out on town, we had a translator. What if you don't have a translator? I was also over in the Philippines. The Filipino language consists of a lot of different dialects. I think the language that with the people that I was with over in the Philippines was Tagalog, and it's a mix of Spanish and their language. So it wasn't too difficult, but okay. This is the best example I can use. Okay, in Spanish, the word pendejo means idiot. Okay, but over in the Philippines, the word pendejo has a totally different meaning to it, and it's not a good one. It's worse than idiot. So, and I learned that the hard way. I was being silly with the family, and I was like, we were actually driving, and somebody cut us off or whatever, and I was like, oh, pendejo, and they're like, no, 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 and they explained to me over in the Philippines what that word means. I'm not going to share it here, but anyway, if there's anybody out there that knows, they understand. But like I said, it's the language barrier. When shit hits the fan, how would you deal with it? Would you just totally ignore it, or would you actually try to communicate with the people? You've got your body language, you have your facial expressions, but still at the same time, you see a group of people coming towards you and they don't speak English, or maybe I should say they don't speak your language, and they're talking at you, and you're like, I have no clue what you're saying. How do you work with that? And are you willing to work with that? Because everybody's going to be on a different stress level when shit hits the fan. There's going to be itchy trigger fingers out there. But like I said, I just, the videos that I do on prepping, I am not an expert. Once again, I am not a nurse, I am not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a average Joe, ex-military grunt. So I guess, if you've got street smarts, that might help. Also, like I said, the body language. But for the most part, like in my area, we do have a lot of Mexicans, and it wouldn't be too difficult to communicate with them. Now, people that are from India or other nationalities that I've never really, I don't, Pakistan, I don't know how to speak that language. And what if this, okay, we don't have a homestead, I live in an apartment, we would definitely bug out. But I know there's quite a few people out there that have homesteads. And if it gets that bad and you have people roaming looking for shelter, or even just looking for other human contact, and a group shows up on your land or near your property, and like I said, they don't speak your language, how would you deal with that? Or would you deal with it? Just saying. Like I said, I try to think outside the box. When I do my videos, I try to do videos that I haven't seen anybody else do. So, like I said, I was thinking about the language barrier, because it's around us, especially here in the States, because we have such a mixed group of people. And like I said, California, that was a culture shock when I moved out there. And I was like, damn. And then I also noticed when I came back home, there was a little bit more different nationalities here just in Cincinnati. Oh, we also have Korean, Japanese. I mean, it's a mix. It's a mixed group of people here in the U.S. So, with saying that, are you willing to learn a different language so you can communicate? Because you won't be able to use this if the grid's down. So it would be really interesting just to see, as a group of people, all in the same, we're all, you know, especially grid down, we're all in the same boat. How are you going to communicate? Speak to strangers that come by. Tell them, no, hey, you can't come on my property. You have to move along. The language barrier. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Think about it. What would you do, or how would you even try to communicate with somebody that doesn't speak any English? And they're trying to tell you that they mean you no harm, or maybe they just want directions, or maybe they just want to know what the hell is going on. It'd be kind of tough. Anyway, like I said, think about it. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Stay cool if you can, because like I said, it is a little warm. And if you do know a different language and you haven't used it in a while, maybe brush up on it. Everybody out there have a good day. Blessed be. Stay safe. And this is Wolfang. And I will talk to you all next weekend. Bye for now.